Welcome to the Soul Tribe Podcast. The Soul Tribe Podcast was created to help you navigate through the world of spirituality, wellness, and self-development in an easy, grounded, and relatable way. We break down everything from the Akashic Records, manifesting, spirituality, and so much more. We want to help expand your boundaries and bring the spiritual world to you in a fun and easy way. Get ready to be inspired with tips, tools, and easy to digest information. Let's do this. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Soul Tribe Podcast. Today, we're going to have an interview episode. And we haven't done interview episodes in a while, actually. We've been just so busy with all the projects that we have going on that we just really didn't have time to book people in and things like that. So we did make a bit of an exception to create some space and time to interview Roberto today, because Roberto is going to be doing a mediumship class that we truly support, and we'll be attending it as well, Lorena and I both. But also we've been able to see his whole path, like the whole progress he's had since the day that we met him to like where he is now, and it's just incredible. The expansiveness he's gained in such little amount of time, and how he's been able to just be like, you know what, I'm just going to trust myself. I'm just going to dive into it. I'm not going to question it. I think that's really admirable. Like, I think that's amazing, and that's something that we should all bring into our lives, because we have a lot of mental aspects that maybe hold us back from truly being the best version of ourselves. And for him, this was the best version of himself, to allow his abilities to start shining through, to allow his abilities to help other people and start aligning with that path. So we brought him on to talk about, you know, how he got there, you know, his experiences, his decision making, you know, what led him there. And also we wanted to hear about the projection for his course that's coming up in September, which we talk about, and he'll give the dates and all that information. We were planning on making it a typical, you know, 30 to 45 minute episode, but we couldn't stop talking to him. It was a really good conversation, and I think we could have gone on for another 2 hours. So we have a lot to talk about with him. Maybe we'll have him on another day at some point, but hopefully you guys are able to enjoy the episode and get something from it, or get a lot from it. And we hope that those that are called to do mediumship, or maybe learn abilities, or try to figure out if that's their path, we hope to see you guys in Roberto's class, because we think he's an amazing individual, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be an amazing teacher as well. Hey guys, we're here with Roberto. You know what? I think I'm going to butcher your last name.
Martocci.
Martocci?
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Why are you talking all funny?
Because it's like Italian, right? Martocci. Like, yeah. I don't know how to say it. Like,
well, people, they go Roberto. That's Christos goes Roberto.
Oh, that's so passionate.
Like,
ooh.
Yeah.
Roberto. Well, when I hear that, it reminds me of the South American telenovelas. Roberto, I'm having your child. Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos.
But how could that be? How could that be? I've never been with a woman.
we transported somehow.
It is the Immaculate Conception. That's very telenovela.
Very.
That would be, yes.
Well, welcome.
Of the new era.
Welcome.
Yes, anyways, welcome, Roberto. We were trying to figure out how, before recording, we were trying to figure out how we knew you, because we've known you for a while now, and it's like we've known you forever.
Feels like part of our family. It's really weird.
And you seem to remember better than us.
Oh, me, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, because it was monumental. It was. No, I work with, you know, I'm sure some people know who Foster and Christos are, you know, but for those that don't, like, Foster is an amazing shaman and healer. And Christos is so many things, a channeler, a master magician, ancient text transcribing genius is how I look at him. And they're so amazing. And I came in contact with them and had some healings and things like that. And then I started doing their work because I was just like, wow, this is really what I want to do. So I'm training with both of them. So I saw you guys, or ladies, because you're not guys, but I saw you both on as friends of theirs, and that they were going to do an interview. You were going to do the podcast interview with them. So I was like, oh, let me listen to that. Then I saw the both of you, and like I said before, it was just like, something about these two. I need to look into this. So I was listening. I was like, oh, you have the podcast. So then I was listening to the podcast, and I was just like, wow, it just like opened my mind. And I always felt like I was highly spiritual and attuned and all of these things, but there were things I never even thought of. So it's like, that's what led me to the Akashic Records. So you were doing the course, and I decided to do the course. And that's where I guess we formally met. And it changed my world.
Nice.
Because
I think you were part of the batch 1 of level 1, weren't you?
That's what I'm thinking. If one of the first,
so.
if not the first group, one of the first ones.
I think, yeah, I was the beta test.
Yeah.
With a bunch of other people. No, it was magnificent because, you know, through my life, like I was saying, I was attuned to my intuition and things like that, but it would only, I would hear like, a booming voice saying, you need to move here. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, and then I'm like, maybe I should look into that. So it was always like a time of crisis when my intuition, my guides, like masters, whoever they were trying to push me back on my path. And that the one time was like, I felt like they slapped me because I was so asleep.
Really?
In 3D, trying to make everything happen in my life. And I got into a car accident. And then when I got home, my house was robbed. And then I couldn't stay in my home. I wouldn't go to sleep. I would sleep in my car.
I got like 20 wake-up calls.
Yeah, all at once. And I finally just, it might sound like, cheesy, but it's like I looked up and I was just like, I wasn't on my hands and knees, but I felt like I was on my hands and knees. And I was just like, please stop. I get it. I understand. So then that's when I got that voice like a week later that said, you need to move to Miami. And I was like, okay. Then I happened to have a friend that went on vacation there. So I decided to drive down there to give him a ride home because I needed to go down there. And in 3 days, I put a deposit on an apartment and came home. And I didn't even have the money. And I was like, I'm going to sell my keyboard. It was the only thing of value that they didn't steal because I had given it to an artist, musician, to make music for a dance work that I was choreographing. So I got that back. And literally 3 days before, I'm all packed up, moving out, everything, still don't have the money. And a minister from a church answers an ad that I put out. That's like back then when there was no Facebook Marketplace and like all that other stuff. So he came and he wanted my keyboard for the church and he paid me about $1,000 and that was the money I needed to go.
Like a minister in his church.
That's awesome.
And now it's like I'm creating this healing ministry. So it's so bizarre that I'm talking about this. I'm so bizarre. But anyway, to get back to Akashic Records, it was just like, I didn't know I could have a dialogue. I thought it would just come when I needed it. And that was it. And when I took the Akashic Records and I was like, oh my gosh, we can talk. I can ask questions. You have really great wisdom for me. Even if it's not something I want to hear, because I really like that. I like when people tell me straight up, like I can handle the truth. So it like gets rid of the illusions that I might have about something. So when I started doing that, I literally saw them like cheering and they wouldn't leave me alone. Like I would close the records, and they're like, we're still talking. You can close it all you want. So So it was just like, boom. And I was typing and typing, like I had to do it on my phone notes because it was coming so fast. And I'm like, wait. And it was like, there's this excitement. It's like they basically said, finally.
Yeah. They were probably very
you finally
eager.
woke up.
Yeah.
They're like, we've been knocking on your door for like 20, 30 years. And finally. So then I was just like, okay. So I was just taking it all in.
Before that, did you feel like you were missing a purpose or like something bigger?
I felt like, wow, now I'm getting emotional. I felt like I was not living fully into a mission. It was like I was letting it go. I was not pursuing it. And it was just like it turned into just me being, I was just like, why am I here? This is boring. Like I'm staring at this beautiful house, like all these things. And I'm just like, they're not real. Like they didn't feel real to me. And then after starting to connect, it was like, I got excited again. And then I got set on I have to do this. I have to do this. I can't not do this anymore. So they really guided me. And there was a lot of support, like things I didn't even ask for. Like if I didn't ask a question, I'd ask a question about something and say, yeah, but by the way, don't be afraid of this. This is, you have to do this, but and it's going to be hard for you, but we're here. You have all the support. And then I would feel the support. So I'm like, what's going on? This is amazing. I almost felt like, God, I should have come to this years ago.
I feel that way with my connection too. I was like, I always talk about how hard it was for me to connect. And like, even today, before we got on this call, I was like, oh, like, what if I could have done this earlier? Do you know what I mean? It probably wasn't my path, but I was like, what if I had trusted myself as like being capable of being intuitive and receiving messages? Like would I've done things differently? Like not in a like bad way, you know what I mean? Like in a curious way. Like, I know this is my path. I trust that, but it's like, what if we all just trusted ourselves a little bit more? And those messages we're getting and those hits that we're getting, our life your life totally changed, right?
Absolutely. In 2 years, yeah. I went from having I wouldn't call it a closed channel, but a narrow channel, because I could sense into people's auras, and I knew things. Since I was 4, I was doing this. I just felt like an alien. I didn't know what it was. Nobody else around me. I had no teachers, nothing. But starting with the first Akashic Records course and then beyond, and all the shamanic work and all the other stuff I was doing, the channel opened really wide. And then I really felt their presence. Like I feel them all now, giving me energy, reminding me of things. It's the bizarrest thing, because to maybe like the outside world, or like in Harry Potter, we call it the Muggles. And Christos always says, he's just like, you could never explain it to a Muggle. And it's not in a stuck up way. It's just like, don't waste your time. It's like, you just have to do your work, and you'll connect with the people that you're supposed to.
That's such a good thing to say right now to everybody listening. Like, especially, I think a lot of us are, not that we're trying to convince anybody of anything, but sometimes we're trying to find our tribe and it's like, they'll come. If you're doing your work and you're connecting to yourself and you're completing your mission and aligned, the right people will show up. Even if it's like, we don't have you here, Roberto, but it's like you're here, right? Yeah. Like we chat with you all the time. We've done courses with you. We're working with you. Like, you'll find those people. They'll come to you always.
Yeah.
Yeah. You both feel like family to me.
Totally.
I think that must be like
occupied the
tribe.
Same space.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because can I say something before you ask? Because I was thinking about this before getting on the call, because I was on a healing session with somebody right before this. And she was talking about, for the first time, I feel like I couldn't, like no one ever mirrored me. So I was tuning into what that was. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't feel like a karmic mirroring when you get into relationships where you have to learn a lesson and grow in something. Yeah. It's like a higher vibrational mirroring. And that to me is like, that's the soul tribe. It's like I finally found they're all coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The second I opened up, that's why it's so important. Like I want to help people trust themselves, trust their intuition, because it's really their soul talking to them. It's like, what does your soul want?
Totally.
Yeah.
And, we discount it. It's just like, oh, no. It's like, I have to do this.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But if you listen to your soul, you're going to find your people. And I never thought in a million years that I could like get to know so many people that I can just completely be myself in front of.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful. That is so good. Like we all strive to get to that, right?
By the way, we miss you on the Telegram group.
Yeah, you're not on the Telegram group.
You're not
oh
on
my
the Telegram.
gosh.
We've been talking so much and you're not there.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I forgot about it. I'm sorry. And
no, you don't have to go on it. You know what? We're doing a lot of talking on it. So
yeah, our Patreon group, we created the Telegram group, like a private group, where we're all staying in touch and chatting about things, all kind of like supporting each other further. It feels like a little family. It's so nice.
And throwing crazy ideas. Like this morning, I sent a crazy idea about an ecosystem town that I was trying to convince everybody to move there with me.
Where is it?
It's in Mexico. It's in the Yucatan Peninsula. And it's this amazing ecosystem town that I'm like, I'm already there. I already live there.
I love it.
So oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So we're closer to you.
Yes. I think I joined, but I don't think I went on. It's just, I need an assistant.
There's so many apps
to remind me.
So many apps now.
But if I don't know if maybe send me the information again or something.
Yeah, I can send it to you. No worries.
Then I can make sure that I go on because it sounds,
you're going to love it.
Like I would love it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So what were you going to ask, Lucia, if you can remember?
So I wanted to ask you, we'll get into like, you do mediumship and you've worked cases of like, cause it's remote viewing that you're doing. You're working cases of like people that are missing.
Missing persons.
So that would be remote viewing. And then you also go on.
No, ask the question. It's okay.
So then you also do mediumship, right? But then you might have someone that you're doing a missing case that might be mediumship connect because they're no longer here. For me, when I like connect to the Akashic Records, I still haven't gotten to that place where I never feel a person dead, like because they never die to me. At least when I'm with the Akashic Records, like someone will ask about somebody, and I'll just feel the same way of the energy when I ask about that name specifically. The soul still exists to me, so I still feel that energy the same way.
Interesting. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I can't tell. Like they can ask me about a dead relative, and I will not be able to tell the difference between them being alive and dead.
That is so true.
I've been asked this about someone, like, did this person more than once? Hey, I had this long family member I haven't seen in so many years, and we're distant, and I don't know, if they're alive or not. Like so many times I've gotten that question. And I'm like, wow, they're all alive to me. So let me just see if I can like directly ask the Akashic Records, and I try to get a no or yes from them because I can't tell via energy in the Akashic Records. Do you have do you feel a difference when let's say you're doing a remote remote viewing for a missing person? Can you feel the difference?
I can more now, but I do experience it in a similar way. Because when I used to be afraid of contacting spirit because they used to always contact me. And some of them, like when you talk in some of your other, podcasts and things like that about, this interception of your channel and there's lower energies. So when I was a kid and I was wide open, I was born open, it was like some good things happened, but these really negative, lower vibrational energies were trying to hack me. And it was really scary. And so I shut the door for the longest time. Then I started doing energy healing work, and I was connecting with living people's energy. And then I was like, oh, this is the same thing. It's just this person's incarnated, this person's not incarnated, but it feels the same. And when I do mediumship, and I've been purposefully just doing it over and over and over again, and over hundreds and hundreds of sessions, because I'm like that. It's like I'm a scientist in a way. Like, I want to know what each little nuance is and how it feels. And I wanted to be able to bring the spirit that close to the point where they felt alive. So I wouldn't know the difference. And a lot of the time it just feels that way. So I don't think it's strange that like, I think it's amazing that it feels the same to you. But with these cases, what happens is, like, I never know. Sometimes they'll give me a picture. Sometimes they'll just give like a location, just like, points on whatever, I don't even know what they're called. It's the coded thing, like, on the map. Longitude, latitudes, the GPS kind of thing.
It's a coordinate location.
Yes. Or a phone number.
Oh, wow.
And
a phone number. Oh my gosh. Like, what are you going to do with that?
Well, that was my first experience doing like remote viewing with my mentor, Nancy Dutertre. And she gave me a phone number, and a bunch of us this phone number. And she just said, this person passed away. So she told us, this person passed away 6 months ago. Describe them.
Wow. Okay. She knew what the description was supposed to be?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, she knew the guy.
Oh.
She didn't even say it was a guy. So it's like, we tried to do it as blind as possible, so that's what remote viewing is really. But yes. She does it more of like an advanced, it's different from the regular, what they call RV, because it encompasses other things. Like, you can bring the mediumship, you can bring different elements to it. You're like who you are and all of your gifts. More.
I did the structured one and I didn't do very well because like you couldn't really use your spiritual stuff. You had to like lock it out.
And in the regular remote viewing, like the way it was back then, the CIA was doing it secretly to spy on other countries. Do it. They always have all these psychics, and it's all underground. But you don't, like, the reader doesn't even get verification. You just give the information, they compile the information of all the psychics, and then it's used for the purpose, and you never get to know.
That's shitty, because you don't get to gain confidence in the process for yourself.
Exactly. So I took her course. She teaches TSP, is what she calls it.
What does that stand for? Putting you on the spot here.
She's gonna kill me.
Don't worry. We can put information on the show.
I was just curious.
Well, the way she explains it, I think I might be butchering it, but it's like ESP, but it's a different form. I'm not sure what the T stands for.
Telecommunication, because it was a phone number.
Telepathic,
Oh, telepathic, right?
It's not. So I'll let her explain it one day, but I'll get her to come on.
Yeah, we should have her on.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But she's training me to teach her course too, so I'm going to be teaching that as well. I'm so excited about it.
Do that, definitely, because I hated the remote viewing I did.
Yeah, it's very restrictive. So you're going to get to, and even the mediumship course that I'm doing, it's the same thing. It's evidential mediumship, and traditionally, it's like, okay, you get a person, you get gender, age, the past, and illness. So it's very like methodical with the evidence, because the whole point is you want to make sure that you're with the person that's meant for that person, and that person recognizes that person. So that like enhances the connection. So the evidence is very important, but traditionally it's very evidence thing. And for me, I'm trying to bring other elements into it, but also where it's like, it's an experience. You're connecting with spirit, and it's like you're trying to blend with the energy so that you can feel their personality.
Oh,
you might see who they might be, or they'll show a scene of a living room where something of importance, where something happened, an important memory. And then by giving that experience and doing it in a way that, like, if you see evidential mediumship demonstrations, it's like very quick. But the way I like, and that's,
that reminds me of those two
why.
Dudes that do it. What's it, John something, and what are those? They're like well known. I don't know if they're on like
John Edwards.
what is it?
John Edwards.
John Edwards.
Yes. So that guy and another guy, and they both speak really fast.
That's evidential.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why they speak fast.
They call it platform mediumship. Yeah. They call it platform mediumship because they're doing a demonstration of it, and not everyone gets a reading. But I've actually gone to John Edwards things before, and I never got a reading, which was fine. But I got a lot out of it because you're feeling the emotions of everyone and connecting, and there's meaning. There's meaning to it. But it tends to be fast because they only have 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and they're trying to get to as many people as possible. But I like the small groups and the one-on-ones because you really get to flesh things out. So if I'm going to describe someone, like, yes, it feels like you take your time and you slow it down, you make it visceral, you make it an experience. Because, I think I've said this before to you both. It's like, okay, it's great. It's like, yeah, my grandma had red hair, it was curly. She had a heart attack. She used to make apple strudel, and, it really pissed her off when blah, blah, blah. And that's all great. The person will be like, oh my God, that's my grandma. But they're coming because they want a communication. They want to sit with them. I see it as like, let's have coffee and I don't know why I'm saying this. I work with this British medium. Like he mentors me. So I get like British stuff. I was like, tea and crumpets is what I was thinking. So it's like you're sitting there and talking so that they have the experience of sitting with their loved one again.
Yeah.
And that's what's
feeling
sacred
connected.
to me. That's what powerful. So in my course, it's like, yes, we're going to talk about the evidence and things like that, but I'm really going to talk about how you express this, how you get the messages, how to build the link throughout the session, how to maintain it, and then allowing these different ways that messages come in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on top of that, because I do it, because sometimes I'll be doing a mediumship thing and a guide comes through or their soul comes through, and that's what's needed in that moment. So then it could turn to that, and then you have the support of the loved one in spirit there as well. So it can become a much broader experience that's healing. Like that's the whole point.
Exactly. I see myself. The only reason I'd go get some kind of mediumship session with somebody is because I want closure, or I want to understand something, or I wasn't able to say goodbye to that person, or,
or they miss them, or you just miss them.
Or you miss them. Yeah. There's something emotional to that I totally can connect with. So I agree with you. I'd want it to be more in that area or that direction.
Yeah, you want to like confirmations with the feelings, so that you like the person's still kind of around. They're not here physically, but they're around in a different way. And it makes you feel less shitty that they're not physically here.
Yeah.
I told Sandra, my partner doesn't believe that like you exist after death. I said, I really hope I die first. I'm going to come back when you take a shower. I'm going to write on like the mirror
glass.
I'm still here.
No.
Idiot.
I told you I still exist.
Oh no.
But that's what it's for too. It also in a way makes death less scary because we are immortal. We're immortal.
Yeah, we are.
And
I still really struggle with the concept of death. Not so much mine, but the people I love and the people around me. That to me is scarier.
Well, of course. And the great thing also that comes through, which I love, is they really give, like they'll make the person laugh. Like it's funny. Like I'll be hearing things or sensing things, and it's like, and then the person is laughing, and they're with their loved one laughing, having experience, or they'll give them advice as if they're still watching over them, taking care of them, and they're happy that someone is able to create that communication, because most people don't have that communication.
Yeah.
In that
That's
way.
True. Yeah. Or they don't develop it. Like you said, you could develop it if it's something that you feel called to. I've mentioned it before. I don't know if on the podcast or not, but like, it's so funny. You mentioned how you don't feel if someone is past or not when they ask about them. And it's happened to me a few times. I've had to ask the person, I'm like, is this person still here? Because something doesn't feel right. But I've had some interesting Akashic record readings where people have asked about a loved one that's passed. They told me that they'd passed, and I've really connected with their energy. So that's why I keep telling you, Roberto, like, I keep feeling this pull to help people in this way somehow, even if it's just like a part of my reading somehow, right? Because I think, I don't know, the messages that have come through have given people some interesting closure, and it's helped them heal stuff that they couldn't. So I can't even imagine an actual mediumship like session, how amazing that could be for somebody that really needs it.
I actually have an example of one that was very different for me. It's like, I didn't understand it at first, and we figured it out together. I saw a girl, and she was surrounded, like she was just by herself, and there was nothing around her really. And she felt like an orphan to me, like she was orphaned. And there was nobody around her, and she seemed a little bit sad. And as this is going on and on, I was speaking to the woman, and she started to get choked up a little bit. She's like, you know what? I have been waiting for this girl to come through. She's never, ever come through before. And she told me how she had a miscarriage. So it made sense to her that she felt orphaned, and the girl, and she wouldn't know what she looked like. But she said, how you described her is how I picture her.
Wow.
So it's like she got to, communicate with her unborn daughter that she lost. And I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
But that makes you think, though, like, if the soul was feeling orphaned and it was a miscarriage, I think about abortions. Like, how does that impact the soul? Because I have a feeling that the soul, I've always thought that the soul doesn't go in and connect with the body fully until like maybe mid-trimester, like the middle trimester on.
I feel like that depends.
It could.
I think it depends. Yeah.
So then I'm wondering if it always impacts the soul. And I mean, if a miscarriage created a soul to feel orphaned, what's the feeling that our souls would have if we were part of an abortion process? You feel like not wanted. You feel, well, orphaned probably as well, but not wanted, not desired. And then that's gonna, let's say that soul has the opportunity, because it's not the end all. The soul has an opportunity to incarnate somewhere else where it's going to be wanted, but it might be carrying the trauma from that past experience that was just in linear time, was just before that incarnation.
Maybe
right?
There's some kind of karmic lesson in that for the soul too. Like they had to experience that.
Maybe
the soul maybe wanted to experience that. And even though it was so short, that in the next life, maybe they were to feel that they choose to be a mother or a father and really do that. Or they might, adopt a baby so that it wouldn't have to be aborted or something like that.
Yeah. I think that could go so many different ways. Like,
there's also our free will. So
yes.
It could be the soul that didn't actually think that was going to happen. We don't know. Like, depends on the soul and the situation, of course, right?
Or the lesson for the mother. It makes you
think about all those things that we talk about with our human mind, like the fight. And I'm not saying which side is right or wrong, actually, but it's like we fight from our mind. No, abortion's okay. No, abortion fight. No, before blah 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 month or after this and this week. It's like we're talking from a human mind. Let's talk about the soul and what's best for the soul.
Yeah, I don't think all of us have gotten to that though.
Making it political is maybe harming more than it's fixing, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
For sure.
And I just feel like saying that like, you don't know what someone's life is like. And until you live in their shoes, because I'm sitting here going, I couldn't even imagine having to make that decision as a woman.
Yeah.
Because I'm not,
exactly.
not a woman. And I have no right to say that, judge that. Like, like anything like that. But me personally, it's like life is so precious to me that if I can project, if I was a woman, that I'm depending on the circumstances, but
circumstances,
my senses, my intuition is telling me, and it's been like this my whole life, that even if I couldn't take care of the baby, I would have the baby and offer it to someone else. But then that would be my karmic path.
Yeah.
That would be my path.
Like, imagine the abusive situations in foster homes. Like, if you're secure enough in yourself to know the information and know what's the possibilities, you go, what is the possibility of this child that I can't have? Let's say that you're living in poverty. That's something that can happen, and you really cannot have that baby. You cannot afford it, and
maybe
because you
have to go to work, or you have health
you're
issues.
not going to be able to give it a good life. You're not going to be able to put food on the table, and then you have to surrender that baby into a system that you don't even know if that baby is going to actually have a good life, if it's going to be treated well, if it's going to be abused. That would kill me every night when I go to sleep, just thinking, not even during the day as well. I think about it all the time.
Yeah, I think it's hard to put ourselves into other people's kind of situations because we're not living it. But it's hard to think also that someone's deciding that for people sometimes. Like
awful.
It's awful. We can go down a rabbit hole of this, of course.
Yeah. We're having Roberto on where we're talking about miscarriages. I never expected this one.
Well, I know. I do that. I have a tendency. but I just say, maybe one more thing about that. It's just like, it's all good.
Yeah. I don't think there's a right or wrong.
Good in the whole, the whole scheme of things. It's like, I would never judge a person or the decision they make, because that's their sovereign right.
I think the bigger lesson that we could take out of this for people, someone that might be listening, is if there's some sort of processing you need to do with an emotion, it might be something was really hard on your soul, and you're maybe processing it now and it happened in your life. And maybe it was one of those experiences that we were just talking about. So I think it's really important for us to start getting rid of those. Like, why is this a trigger? Why does this upset me? Why is this really hard for me? Why do I keep encountering this lesson? Because it really might be something our soul really, really suffered through.
Yeah. Or something that we needed to suffer through to learn something. Like, there's no like textbook,
there's
right?
No right. Yeah. There's no right or wrong.
No, especially when you see different readings, like this has come up in different readings for me. And it's like, they don't judge it. There's no judgment around that. So I think we're usually our worst critics, and we're usually our worst, like we'll judge ourselves till the end. Right. But I think it's so personal.
Yeah.
But then the emotions can kick in, and then we need to like, even I remember my teacher when I was going through level 2, she would talk a lot about like asking the other person if they've had a death in the family or a miscarriage or some kind of abortion or something, because that needs to be healed. That's something you generally need to heal within your like family system and stuff, because it can't go ignored, especially if you haven't emotionally, processed it.
That's interesting, because I wouldn't even think to ask that from someone
generally
versus
ask that. Yeah,
versus allowing it will come up if the healing needs to happen in that moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, I don't know, it's good to say it here, I guess, because people listen to the podcast, but definitely if it's something that you feel that you need to work through, this could be something you can ask in an Akashic Records reading, for example.
Absolutely.
And it can be ancestral, like from your ancestors. It could be something that they're carrying that you got. For me, the best example is Lorraine and I. Our ancestors were living in the Canary Islands, and we don't know which island, and we don't know when this was, but we know that from both our mom and dad side, both families came from the Canary Islands looking for a better life, and they ended up in Uruguay. And then Lorraine and I have this thing where we just want to move all the time. like I know I have to, I love doing that, but I know I have to like let go of it. I need to be able to be okay with where I am, because I just like settle somewhere and I get my residency and like I'm comfortable. I'm like, okay, I really want to move to this place now. Like, and I'm pretty sure that it's coming from my DNA, and that's something I really need to work on. But
who's to say that you don't live in more than one place at the same time?
That's actually what I was thinking today. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Because that's how I'm thinking too. Like,
Yeah.
because I was just like, where would I go? You know, and I was just like, there's not one place.
Yeah, that's true.
I was thinking that. I was thinking sometime in Uruguay, sometime in Cayman, and sometime in Mexico, and sometime in Holland. I'm like, oh no, I can't. It's too much. How am I to divide my time?
It's
You know, there's a
much.
thing online where you can see, it's through your astrological charts.
Oh,
like when
right.
you're
We
born, the
talked about
planets,
this.
where your lines come through. I think it's called click travel or something like that.
Yes,
It's
we
on
looked into that. We talked about that.
astro.com.
Yeah.
Astro.com.
Isn't that called like astrocartography or geography, like the geographical part of your astrology?
So wait, so the ones that are the place that's best for you is where the lines cross?
Well, no, you can have certain lines. Like mine is, there's a moon line through someplace in Mexico, and it's through Rome as well. So what is the moon? It's about everything that's hidden, spiritual, like, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I remember being in Rome and feeling that energy and feeling at home.
The moon.
There, at home in Rome. The moon, like my moon, because it travels.
More shadowy? Wouldn't that be like you'd feel heavier?
No, the moon is like your emotional side. It's your home. It's how you nurture yourself.
Wow. I think it also depends on where you are in your karmic lessons and your vibration.
Yeah.
Because anywhere you go that's higher, there's like I try not to use polarity words, but it's like lower vibrational and higher vibrational aspects to things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in a place of lower vibrational and you go to a place like that, you're going to deal with your shadows more.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've worked with your shadows and you're in a higher vibrational place, when you go to a place like that, it's going to be expansive and open, and you're going to get more. So I feel like I need to go to Rome or this other place in order to channel information like more easily.
Mm-hmm.
Or in a more expansive way. I don't know. But it goes, you can have more than one line going through.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have for Sydney, Australia, I have Jupiter line, Moon line, Mars line, like whatever. And in California, it's the same exact lines that are going through there. And I've been drawn to go there. To California.
And that was a big place, right? Like, because that's where you went to study with Christos and Foster, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's beautiful. It's beautiful there.
Just to make fun of Lorena and I for a second.
Okay.
Lorena,
I'm on for that.
Well, you told us about that, and Lorena and I we're looking at our thing, and Lorena and I go, Lorena goes, I have my son in Uruguay. I was like, me too. Like, it's because you were born there. Hello.
I was like, oh, duh. Hello.
No, but quite often there's no lines where you were born.
Really?
It's like you chose to be born in a place where you're going to get those karmic lessons and things like that, and eventually you'll move to someplace else. So that happens too. But it's interesting. It's like you chose to be born there, and it's like astrologically, it's like synced up with you both.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always been really attracted. I have never visited Norway, but I always wanted to visit Norway. And I talked about it for so long. And when we looked at the charts, I have almost every line going through Norway. Like, it's like packed with lines.
You have to visit one day.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But on the great thing about the astro.com click travel, whatever it's called, I'm sure you're going to put it on the thing for people to look up, because you're going to get like those experiences that you had. It's like, oh my God, I always wanted to go there. Yeah. And I have all these lines going through there. It's like, oh, that makes sense. It's like verification.
Sure.
Yeah. It's like verifying that the way you feel isn't crazy. It's like, why do I keep wanting to go to this place? Or why do I feel so good when I'm living or visiting this place? Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. But I want to go back to something we were talking about, because you were talking about your course or your workshop, right? So maybe just tell people a little bit about when that's going to be, because I'll definitely post that. I'm going to try to post a link, put all that information on a link, so people can just access it there, because we've already shared it on our Patreon, but we haven't shared it here. So maybe you could tell them a little bit about it.
Okay. So I'm going to be having more than one, but this month is September 25th, Saturday, September 25th, and Sunday, September 26th. Different times depending on your time zone. And what was the question?
So you answered when is it, and like, what is
what do you
what's the
learn?
structure,
Yeah.
or what are you learning, or what kind of person would want to sign up for that, for example?
Yeah, exactly. Like who could? Is it for like anybody?
Or who can and can't?
It's for anybody at all levels of experience with mediumship. So right now signed up, there's someone that has more experience. When I explain the course, she's like, yes, that's because she wants the more expansive part of it, which is going to bring it, like past lives will come in, different things. And I'm very open to that. So there will be exercises where we're doing, we're going to focus on spirit, and we're going to do that and connect and safely connect. And people have a lot of fears around it. I used to have fears around it. So I'm going to address that, because it's not what, I feel like my fears, stop me. And then I realize, wow, this is not something to be afraid of, because it's higher vibrational. So there's no negativity involved. So that's part aspect, all the different ways that you can take in evidence, just so that you're aware of them. So that when something comes, like, sometimes, a lot of the times, just being aware of something allows it to come in. So you can set intentions, and you can say, I really want to work, and we're going to do this. I really want to work with, getting names, or whatever aspect it is. Or even more so, I want to, let's explore the fact of, let's tune into what their life in the other side looks like right now.
That's cool.
So that's like an example of what some of these exercises that we're learning the evidential mediumship, learning how to connect more deeply, how to do like an actual reading, like how to have like a successful reading, a structure of the reading. There's an opening, a closing, the beginning, the middle, how you would ebb and flow with it. So you're not just giving evidence, lots of evidence, and then a message at the end. I try to more, and I work this way, is you give some evidence, you get the verification, then, you might give a little bit more evidence, and then you'll know, it's like it connects, and the person's like, yes, you have my so-and-so. And then you start bringing in messages and things, and like a memory, and you set the intentions to spirit. They want to get through what they want to get through, but you can also, it's a dialogue. So you can say, tell me something, like, something that you may have given them, or something of significance, an object of significance that they would understand as only being you and their memory of you. And then that will come. So I want to, work and play with that and tune into that. What else? The communication, the heart-centered intuitive communication, the soul-to-soul contact, that really makes a session experiential,
right?
And not just factual and things and stuff like that. I mean, it's great to get all the verification and be like, oh my God, how did I get that? But, I really learned that, like, it's not about you at all. So that's a part of the course as well. It's like learning to, we talk about ego a lot, but it's just stepping aside. You're not giving sovereignty to spirit to come in. You're still sovereign. Yeah. It's just, it's almost like, and I picture it this way. It's like you say, yeah, I'll give an example. I'm saying, I want to connect to spirit right now, join us, breathe, bring light, like all the things that bring you to that vibration where now you're actually vibrating on the same level. So it just opens the space. You're in that space. You're in the higher vibrational space. So then you say, like, come friends, like come, whoever is meant to speak to this person specifically. And they come, and you might, say, put your hand on my shoulder, if that's your comfort level, or just take my hand, or not any of that. You can
or
just
don't
say,
touch me at all.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's based on the comfort level. But I soon, like, I never would let the spirit touch me or ever think to like do trance which is you're really kind of there's levels of trance, but at one point you step aside, and they just speak through you.
That's
you
insane.
know that you're speaking, but it's like you don't remember what you said at the end. I had to ask someone, and I was like, because I never had done like full on kind of trance like that. It was just levels of it. I've always been like really there with it, like conscious. And I had to say, I was like, I know I said a lot of things. It's been a half an hour. I go, but can you remind me of what we talked about? And then she told me, and I was like, oh yeah. So that was the first experience. This was like maybe 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, wow, that was amazing. So by doing it over and over again, your comfort level comes. So you can bring them closer. And then what I do now is I say, like, come sit with me. And usually it feels like a blanket. Their energy feels like a blanket. So it's almost like you're trying them on, like clothes. They're not you, it's just the clothes, right? Mm-hmm. But you're deeply connected. So that then you get even more information, because it's like you see through their eyes. You feel what they feel like. You feel their emotions, so you can express those emotions. So part of the course, like a big part of it, is also how to communicate these messages in a way that's going to be for the greater good and for that person's healing as well. So, sometimes I'll get like really awful things, and it's like, how do you say stuff like that?
Wow.
Like I got a person, a young boy, like a teenage boy that died abruptly in an accident. So instead of just saying, oh, I have a young man here, dark hair, he was in a terrible accident, blah, 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 and the gruesome of it. No. Right. I couldn't do that. Like,
yeah.
I say, I have a boy here. This is what he looks like to me. And it seems like he left too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then lets the person say, yes, that was my son. And then they have that emotion. And then, may I continue? And then you can give more information, and then a message can come through. And, a lot of the times it's like, it's just amazing. Like, it's just like the understanding that someone could still be grieving.
Yeah.
And you don't know. It could have been last week. It could have been 10 years ago.
Of course. Yeah.
I was doing a healing with someone, and it was supposed to be a Lemurian light healing and like this whole thing, and spirit came through. And that was exactly what the healing needed to be about. Mm-hmm. So, but it's so that's a big part, is like how you give these messages, communicate these messages in a way that the person feels held in that space as well. So I think that's a unique element.
I love
to the course
that
as
you
well.
Do that. Yeah, that's amazing.
So wait, how many hours is each day?
It's 4 hours each day. I was going to make it 3 hours, but I do trainings. I mean, I've been receiving, these kinds of mediumship trainings as well. And it's like never enough time, because I really want it to be experiential. I know, your course, right? I really want everybody to be able to experience this many times throughout the course. So I'm going to have a manual of everything. And I think I was asking for guidance, but I think I'm going to give it ahead of time, like you all did.
Yeah.
And I'll cover the material that's in there, but I don't want that to trap us into not having enough time.
Of course. To
actually do the work. Because the first thing will be a short exercise with just connecting. I'll do a guided, meditation kind of thing, or a connecting, to try to get everybody there as a group. And then we'll go directly into an exercise, so that while you're in that space, there'll be plenty of time to ask questions, like stuff like that. So I made it 4 hours, 2 days. So we're going to have 8 hours of this.
It's great.
I'm so excited.
I am so excited. Like, I can't even tell you. I already blocked off my calendar. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I actually put a maybe, and I haven't even checked to see if I can. I think, but I want to. Let me see.
I'm super excited. I think it's
probably
going to be amazing. So if anybody is interested,
What could be more important?
I know, Lucia, come on.
It's in my calendar already. Lorena put there in my calendar for me.
I put everything in her calendar because otherwise she'll forget.
Because Lucia puts nothing in her calendar.
And even then she'll message me. She's like, what time is this at? I'm like, it's in your calendar.
I need a Lorena.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do anything without Lorena. Lorena does all the organizing, and I get to be the free spirit that goes, I'm just here to channel. Just leave me alone.
You need both energies sometimes. Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to create like a little landing page on our thing so people can just click on it on the show notes and they can see all the information. So we'll put your contact details on there. We'll put your contact details on the show notes too, so people can reach out.
Yeah.
So this episode comes out next Monday, which is the 13th. So that gives people almost 2 weeks to sign up. So that's great. So make sure. Yeah.
And there's still some space. Like, I haven't put a limit on it. I do want to keep it to a certain smaller groups. I like the smaller groups. But when I say smaller groups, it's like 12.
Yeah.
Because we also need people, we need to work with each other and do that. Oh, and then I also add after the course, I'm going to be doing weekly 2 hour or 2.5 hour practice groups. So anybody that's been in the course, or I'm going to probably invite some other mediums that I know personally to be part of it, so that there's, everyone can learn from each other. And it's very supportive. Like, it was very supportive to have mediums that were ahead of me, more advanced than me, in a reading, because they help you out. They help you out a little bit more. But I'm going to do that as well. Like, it'll be maybe like 30 minutes of a topic and a certain way of working. This is what we're going to focus on today. If you have trouble getting, names, or or you want to explore this, or like the things I spoke about before, it's an opportunity to do it regularly, because I found it very hard at first to practice because I didn't have anyone really to practice with.
Yeah.
So, I had joined a group and it just made so much sense. It opened everything up. So I want to offer that to people. And then as I keep teaching these courses, more and more people will be in them. And it won't be expensive to be in these weekly things at all. It's like amazing. The price of going to a yoga class or something.
Okay. That's great. That's perfect. I think that, and that's like one of those things, even when we talk about the Akashic Records, like, you have to practice it. Like, the more you practice it, the more you become more comfortable with them, the more you embody it. And the more it's like, you feel like energetically worthy of it, because you're in it. That's part of who you are and what you do and your purpose.
That reminds me, have you been able to do any practices after level 2 course? How's it been? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Not necessarily with the group. Like, people are calling me, but like contacting me, we're contacting each other. But, I've been actually, okay, let me talk about the Akashic Records too, because this is what happened. This is perfect. For me, yes, I channel a lot and I do all these things and stuff like that. So you would think, well, why does, and talk to guys, like, whatever, why does Roberto need to take Akashic Records too? Right.
Right.
And I was just, and it was like a boom. Yes, I need to do this. And what I got out of it, even being an experienced person, was it really clarified for me when I'm talking to a guide, to the person's soul. Like, so it just kind of clarified even more.
Like, fine-tuned it for you, maybe.
It really fine-tuned it in a way. I was like, oh, now I really, like, mentally I can get things. It's like, emotionally I can get things, but then there's that one moment where it centers and it becomes a knowing.
It's so funny how, like, some people are really good at, like, everybody's good at something. I've never been able to connect with spirits that passed away. Like, get messages like Lorena does, but I can totally tell you if I'm with the masters, the guide, or the person's soul.
Yeah.
Like, it's like everybody's channel so different
for you.
I'm going to probably be blocked in the beginning, but I'm going to go like wide open, like, because I think that I think it's probably like, I'm a little scared of it. Like, I don't know, dead people, like, leave them dead.
I don't feel scared at all. I feel so fascinated by it. Like, I don't know.
But I know that about you, Lucia. I know that. So I purposely address that in the chorus.
Good.
Yeah.
It's for everybody, but specifically
be in
for you.
sleeping, and they're like, "Oh, I hear that you talk to us now." Like, no, get out, man. Like, I'm sleeping.
Oh, well, here's the thing. You close it too. It's just like the Akashic Records. It's a little different, but it's like, you don't have to have that either. It's, if you leave the thing open, like you're saying with Akashic Records or anything, it's like you're leaving it open, like anything can come in, really, especially when you're in astral. So when you're sleeping. So it's like, you can say, nope, you're good at that.
Oh, I'm really good at that. I can curse them off for like days.
Especially after that crazy experience you had.
Yeah.
Like,
I've had those my entire life. Ever since I think that's why I've never wanted the mediumship things, because my entire life I've had entities come and bother me while I'm sleeping. I remember since I was like a 7-year-old little girl fighting with these entities and actually cursing. I was 7. My mom used to wonder why I always cursed so much. And I remember meeting up with these things that were like overstepping and me cursing at them. And I was like 7. So I think that's
well, look at how strong you are. So I'm going to say something, and I usually don't talk about this, but since you brought it up, it was the same thing for me. That was me growing up, and I always fought it off somehow. But it's like, an entity entered my body and took control of me, like a possession almost.
Yep. Oof. While you're sleeping, right?
And while I was sleeping, and even astrally, like in the dream, I couldn't move my arm. I was struggling and struggling, and I couldn't get control of myself. And then I just calmed myself for a second, and I went like this, and I threw it out of me.
Wow.
And when I did that, I woke up, and you know how like your foot falls asleep or something falls asleep, and it's painful, like the tingles, the nerves are firing. My entire body was on fire.
Oh my God.
From it. For like not real fire, but like for a minute, it felt like burning sensation, like everywhere, and just that like fuzzy, whatever. I was like, holy crap. So if I can get over it, you can get over it.
So you pushed it out. I cursed it out. But that makes sense. I have power with words. Like I like to fight with words. So
yeah.
No, what I'm saying, that's why I closed the door, and I gradually was able to do it. So I want to support you and other people that have had these experiences, or that are even afraid to ever have those experiences if they haven't. It's a whole other place and dimension, and I hope you'll feel that when I do the meditation and the bringing the vibration to that place. It's
as long
like
as Kevin Bacon ain't coming, I'm happy.
Oh, I know. Right?
I'm so excited. Like seriously, so excited. It's going to be awesome.
So wait, did you do any Akashic Records readings level 2?
Oh, that wasn't my way of trying to avoid the question. Yes,
it's like nope. You didn't do any homework. You didn't do anything.
No, I've done it, and I'm doing other like healing things with people, and when I do sessions. So, but I'm doing it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Them.
Oh,
I'm doing it with them. Yes.
Oh, wow. So wait,
I'm like, can I talk to your guides right now? Like,
so Roberto did not only our level 1, but he just recently did our level 2 Akashic Records.
I love how he was our first batch of level 1 and our first batch of level 2.
Yeah, he was I think one of the first ones to sign up for this, so it was awesome.
I was waiting, and I did not just sign up. I spam message Lorena every day until she told me, you're in, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think you sent like 3 emails or something. I was like, oh no. Okay.
An email, a Facebook message.
I've been waiting. That's right. I forgot.
I ask you about it all the time. I've been waiting a year.
We had a few people that would like email us constantly, like, when is it ready? And we were like still channeling it. It was a lot of work.
Oh my God, it was a lot. I mean, the manual is 90 pages.
Something like that. Yeah.
I totally understand why. I carry it around with me for some reason. It's in my computer bag, and I left it in there. So it's it's with me.
That's sweet.
I open my bag and I'm like, oh.
That's awesome. Yeah. So he like, just so people that are listening understand, he's like with level 1, level 2, also you have like quote unquote homework, right? That you need to do just to get more comfortable with the energy and channeling and all that. but it was such a cool experience because it felt so different from level 1. I can't even explain it. Like
it was exciting to teach.
It was exciting because we know like now you have the tools, you can go and help people with it.
But it's also like spreading light. Like, okay, we're not the only readers. Go readers, go help everybody.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What I feel like with mediumship and the other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and the other stuff that I do. And it's a cool experience.
And
what I liked about it.
So good. Like in the practice day, everyone did so good. Yeah. Like literally I was very impressed.
I was too. Yeah. And that goes to show people that have done the work, right? They've practiced, you guys have been connecting. Like it was all so aligned. And the group was so beautiful. Like it definitely felt like there was a reason for all of you to come together. I loved it. Yeah. But before we kind of wrap up the episode, I want to make sure people understand what kind of work you do. So like maybe explain what kind of sessions they can get with you, like where they can find you. And I'll obviously put that stuff in the show notes, all the links and everything. But yeah, because I know you do different kinds of healings and stuff, right? Like maybe explain to people, all of that, so they can contact you.
Okay, it's like I'm creating my own healing modality. And a lot of, like, I would say 90% of it is channeled.
Nice.
Which is amazing, which is why I thank you ladies so much, because I'm so grateful. And my other, peeps that, mentor me. But it's most of it is channeled because I have worked, I've done polarity therapy, and I hate the name, but really it's beautiful. That's where I've been doing that for 20 years. I started out where you're basically creating oneness and unity through polarity. So you have your right hand, your left hand, and one is giving and one is receiving. So it's positive, negative charges, and you create circuits over the energetic field. And you can be on the body on the first level, second, sometimes you could be across the room. It's just where you need to be, and it leads you. So it's almost like you're channeling, you're connecting to that person's soul or field, whatever we want to call it. All the information is there for their healing, and you just go. So it's like, I don't call myself a healer because I facilitate someone's own healing.
I love that.
By adding that connection and that energy. And now it's like I channel the energy.
That way. That's
beautiful.
Nice. Yeah.
So I channel the energy in the work. So whatever it is. So for instance, let's just stay with the energy work. It's like I work a lot with the heart and the heart opening and how it's a reflex and how there's chakras and the levels of them. So this is the modality. I call it, the ministry of the diamond light, because the diamond energy is fourth dimensional. It's the heart. And it's like, to me, I don't call them chakras. I call them portals, and they're like vortexes and portals. And there's a lot more to it, but, I feel that the heart is the connection. It's like, Catholics do this, in Kabbalah, it's like, it's a similar thing. You're creating a crossroad.
He's doing the cross on his body.
Yes. Oh yes. Cause you can't see. So the heart portal is the crossroads, and that's the opening for all of the channel, all of the love, all of the connecting to source energy. If it's coming from below, Gaia, the earth, and from above, the higher dimensions, it meets at the heart, and then the heart.
I love that.
And that's where it comes from. So when I do the healings, I'm taking it from source, wherever. It could be called different names, Lemurian light healing, color healing, like all this stuff, high frequencies. But the basics of it is drawing all this energy to the heart and then giving it out. So it's not coming from me. So I never feel depleted.
That's great.
So that would be part of a training too. But I want this whole ministry is really mediumship, channels, people that want to connect, people that to awaken, to activate people in a safe environment. So when I do healing session, I bring all of these things in. So I might start at the head, and then I tune in, and then I'm told where to go, and then something might come up, and I'll get an image, and it'll be such an, an image of somebody, and it could be a past life. It could be a whole bunch of different things. But I explain the vision, the image, the feeling, and always is a big word, but it's like almost like always. It pertains, and it makes the healing more profound, because now the person can talk about it and process it. So the emotion comes up, it's trapped in the body somewhere, and the energy releases it, and then the emotion comes up, and I have to facilitate that even further. And that's what I do, because I don't want to leave somebody sitting there in the emotion, not knowing what to do with it.
Oh, of course.
So
yeah.
A lot of it is processing. Sometimes it goes to past life. Sometimes it just goes to something directly in their life right then and there in the physical. So that's kind of like, that doesn't even explain it all, but it's a lot of elements into the healing. So you're not just coming, it's like, and I'm, working the energy and move. I am doing that. I am doing all of that, but there's layers of it, because we have layers.
Yeah.
And each person needs something different in the moment. So that's why I train Akashic Records. That's why I train mediumship. That's why I trained for channeling and, trance healing that I didn't even know I was doing until someone said, "That's trance healing." And I'm just like, oh.
Okay.
I knew it was something. It just didn't have a name for it.
And that's like for you guys, like you do different things. Like, Lucia, you do, angelic healing. I received your healings. I can't tell you, like, I'm going to give you a plug right now, but it's because it's like, I had really bad shoulder pain. Okay. And I did 3 angelic healings with Lucia, and my left shoulder it's like it never happened.
Did it not come back at all? Not even a little bit?
No. And the right side, which had a little bit more, like I have a little tear and stuff, I don't need surgery. It's minor, they say. So I just have to rehabilitate it. And I was doing rehab, and it was kind of getting better, but it was kind of falling back, and I stopped. We did the healing, and it measurably improved.
I'm impressed. Like, I do angelic healing, and I'm impressed that you're saying that. Because you're not really allowed to promise physical recovery, because it's a 3D thing, but they really help. They try to help you in everything they can, but they can't promise miracles. So I'm super impressed at that. Right. Yeah.
That's
amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
So good.
No, it was. But okay, so say you're doing Akashic Records, say you're doing mediumship, Lucia, and you're doing something, and then, since you have a connection to angelic forces, which I do too, but so I understand it. It's like that could still come through you during an Akashic Records reading.
Of course.
Oh, I'm sensing this blue light. Archangel Michael seems to be coming through. What's the message? I feel like, you might be dealing with something that might need protection, whatever it is you intuitively and your guides are telling you. It's like you can totally use that in both. Yeah. So I felt like I needed to say that out loud.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I didn't think about that, actually. I didn't even consider that. Yeah.
Sometimes you can get stuck in these structures, right? That's what we try to teach in our courses. It's like, make it your own, and a lot of our students, especially, I think the ones that did our Zoom courses, because we had more, we talk more with them, right? A lot were already doing something. Some were doing Reiki, some were doing healing, some were connected to other healing modalities. So this was just something extra that they wanted to add to it to be able to assist or help or heal. And I think we need to think outside the box sometimes when we're on this path, right? Like, how can I help? For me, it's the flowers. I really love them. I feel like there's such an interesting way to heal, and they're natural. They're
spirits.
Yeah, they have their own energy. Yeah. They work at an energetic level. So to me, they do have their
they're
own
an amazing
energy
collective.
Spirit. So for sure. And I guess it's a message for everybody.
Don't limit yourself.
Yeah. Don't limit yourself. Think outside the box and do what you feel, is right for you and your path.
And I really believe that like every person's unique, every channel's unique. And whatever you're attracted to, you're that amazing portal that can mesh all those things together and do that one type of reading or healing that maybe other reader can do, not because it's not doable, but because they're going to be passionate and connect to other things, and they can mesh those things up together better than you would be able to mesh those things up together.
Of course, yeah.
But also don't feel that you're limited. You know, if you do one thing or two things really well, that could be who you are. And that's your contribution. For me, it's always been like a lot of things. I just never was able to put it together for like 20 years. And now I'm just like, oh, okay. Now I understand it.
Yeah. That's
so
cool.
I just wanted to say that too, because, you know, you don't have to do 100 things.
Also, can I up our game here? While
Sure.
you were getting the whole, like, you can channel the energy and angel thing, I've been really concentrating on, I've been talking a lot about this, especially with my partner. Like every time I see something that like, it almost comes and then you almost grasp it and it goes away. I'm like, there's a belief system, there's a program, there's like something that's not allowing you to get that. Right. And I've been really paying attention to that. And I've been working on my own blocks and my own programs that are, you know, coming from, it could have ancestors, my parents, learned behavior, whatever. So I've been really working on that. And I've been really thinking like, I can't find, like, I've tried so many different channels and different forms, and they always work a little, but I'm like, I need a mega pack, like the mega pack, like where this is deprogramming, this is belief system, this is ancestral cellular memory, this is manifesting, this is, you know, the 101 of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'm getting that we should bring our energies and our channels together to create that mega structure.
That would be awesome.
Oh my goodness, Lucia, you just totally nailed it. I couldn't even put it into words. That's what the ministry is. It's to bring all of these people together.
Oh no, sorry guys. Roberto will be doing
it. No, you do it too. You're going to be in it. You're going to no. It's like
maybe it's a message you got, right?
We're that for each other. So we're going to amplify each other. So the things that you do and you do and you do, and we bring that energy together, and you know, it's just going to amplify each other. And I believe that like some of the gifts of some other people will be channeled through the other people as well. At least that's what I see. But you're talking about the programming and all of that. It's all about like empowerment. It's like getting rid of all of that programming that has been designed to stop us from connecting so deeply.
Yeah.
You know, and and are having our energy ascend to whatever level. And that's what I want to bring to it too. But when you say that, that's what it is. We need each other. It's the mega pack. We're going to mega pack this.
Yeah.
Not just one person.
Yeah.
It's like what do they call, like the family pack or something? like the Costco. You go to Costco, you get in bulk.
But like, I can't find anyone that has that class created, because I would take that in 2 seconds. I mean, there's a bunch of classes.
That'd be a lot.
Like abundance or manifesting 101 kind of thing. Like, great. Like, you know, stepping into your power. Yeah, that's not what I feel like. There needs to be something that teaches you, like, these are the things that might be stopping you. These are the things that you need to make sure to keep doing. These are the way you need to do these things. Like, I don't know. At least I haven't found it if it exists. If someone found that, let me know. Like, send us an email, because I'm signing up tomorrow. But like, I feel like we need to bring our channels together. I was getting that. Like, we need to bring our channels together, because I wouldn't be able to channel that myself, because I have my own blocks.
Of course, yeah.
So I wouldn't, you know, channels need other channels. We're, you know, psychologists need other psychologists, right? So that's kind of what's in my mind. Like, we all need to come together and create this mega manual, mega class.
That would
obviously
be
we need
awesome.
to try it on ourselves and people around us before, because you're not going to go, yes, we got the manual, and you don't know if it works. We need to test it out for a while. So it might take a year, maybe more, but I think it's really needed on Earth. Like, people need to start realizing that we are mega creators and we are really capable, but we've been taught not to figure that out and not to do that. So we depend on the system. So we depend on jobs. So we depend on, you know, being in this enslavement system or
And
control.
We're taught not to be a collective.
Yep.
Because collective is powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, okay, so like you said something about like, you go to different things and it just opens a channel in a small way. So you were looking for something bigger. And I was just, guided to say that we have to work on our own channels and expand them. And we can connect with other people and do that too. But within that work, expand it. So that's part of it also. Like I'm feeling like that's, part of the message is, yes, we need to do that. But what are we bringing to it? We can open this up ourselves. Like we're part of the whole anyway.
Yeah.
So we can open ourselves up in a big way. And then it will just kind of, I think logarithmically, whatever you want to call it, it'll just domino kind of effect.
So true.
I'm with it because
so true.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying or why.
I mean, like you have to lead by example. So we would need to already be there to be able to teach it. So, but we would also need to start getting ourselves, like you were saying, expand your channel, start bringing down the information, start figuring it out, and start structuring the whole thing so it's digestible.
I know I'm supposed to be filming my podcast stuff, but that ties into the first episode.
Oh yeah,
that I was going to do, because it's about your own trusting yourself, your soul, connecting to your soul, your intuition, and it's like that's the first like that was the first big opening for me.
Yeah.
You know what's the big aha I've gotten recently? We're talking so much, my gosh. This is like having Crystals and Fosters on.
Yeah, we'll wrap up soon. Don't worry.
Okay. What I've gotten lately that like hit me one day was I was taught, this is a program that I realized I had. I was taught that you're here to learn lessons and you have karmic experiences. So sometimes it could be limiting experience. But what I didn't realize till I realized maybe a few days ago was our free will also can override that and say, no, F that. I'm not going to live living experience. I got your game. Like, I understand it's a lesson. I learned that, what limitation is. I'm no longer having it. I'm overriding with my free will. And now I'm deciding to be abundant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe that that's also a program that I've inherited, at least.
I feel that too. I think that's part of our upbringing for sure.
Yeah.
But it's also you being like, well, I'm sick of this situation. I know I'm worthy of something more. Like, F that.
It's the one I say, I'm done.
I'm done. Like, I'm done with this. I want this thing and I'm worthy of it. You have to feel it though.
Yeah. Like, you have to really feel it. Like, no, I'm not accepting this anymore, universe. We're done.
Exactly. Exactly.
That was like me in the very beginning of my story. It's like, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
Stop. I get it. Because my thing was, I had to work hard and hard. The harder I worked in 3D, the harder. That's how you get abundance.
Yeah.
And that just got me more crap.
Yeah, exactly.
It did not get me abundance. And so when I finally said, that's it. But then there's the how.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't know the how we're going to get there, right? The how is usually very difficult. If we put our mind to the how and we obsess over the how, that's our ego. Like, the universe will send it to us somehow. We're going to figure it out through signs, through decisions we make, through our free will. But this portals, is where I think free will is so connected to that, right? Because if our free will is connected to that program of unworthiness, lack of working hard, we're going to make decisions on that with that energy, right? But if we're really in tune with our worthiness and knowing that we can create abundance, that we're co-creating with the universe and that we deserve X, Y, and Z, then the free will that we have will create abundance through the decisions we make. I truly
That's why both of your work is so important, because we get that through connecting to our intuition, but also connecting to the guides, because we're going to get that guidance that supports, and then all these synchronicities will happen if you're following your what your soul wants.
Yeah,
then the things are going to be presented that you're going to recognize, and the more you let go of the programming and say I can't, or I'm not worthy, like you're saying, then you take a chance. Yeah, sure. I'll go to Miami. I don't know why.
Exactly.
It's like, that is the most insane thing when I look back that a person could do.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've done that so many times.
And I just keep doing it. And when I don't do it, that stuff doesn't happen.
Are you Miami now?
Stuff.
Are you New York? Where are you?
I'm in Miami right now.
Oh, you're in Miami.
Yeah, I'm going back tomorrow night.
Welcome to Miami.
No, it's been really nice to be here. I've been here for about 3 weeks, so 3.5 weeks now. It wasn't intended, but every time I went to leave, here's another thing, synchronicities. I went to the airport. I was flying out. The flight got canceled. There was a mechanical problem. They couldn't fix it.
Oh, wow.
3 other flights got grounded as well. So there was no way out.
Oh.
So I was just like, okay. I go back to my daughter's apartment. And then I set a flight for 2 days after that. The flight gets canceled due to some kind of weather thing.
Oh.
Then 2 days later, there was like a weird hurricane thing that the remnants was going to where I was landing. So I had to change my flight because I would have been arriving at the exact time it hit.
Oh, was that Ida? Was that Ida?
That was Ida, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Jersey.
That's pretty bad in New Jersey. New York.
I have pictures. Like, we have sinkholes from flooding that we've never had before.
Is it near your area where you live? Like the damage?
Yeah. I mean, it was really the town over got it more. There was a high school that is closed now for the rest of the year. It got flooded. They can't repair it. The roof caved. Like, it was craziness was happening. There were cars. I'll send you the picture later. Cars, like a road just opened up and 2 cars
I saw the
are sitting in
videos on
it.
Telegram. I sent them to Lorena. I'm like, Lorena, look at it.
It looked really, really bad. Really bad.
It was crazy.
Sorry for
so
everybody.
I had to cancel the flight. So then I made the flight for the next day. I got a thing canceled. So I made it for the next day. So then I go home and then my daughter has a little emergency.
So you had to come back?
So I'm home 24 hours and I flew right back.
You had to be there.
So you just need to stay there. That's like,
do you realize, now that listening to that and knowing a little bit of the context, like, you were just supposed to stay there. You weren't supposed to leave.
I know.
You were just supposed to stay there and just be there for a while.
You escaped for a little bit, but you're.
And I know why, because I was doing healing work. It opened me up. I started getting all of these downloads. Like, this is a power center for me. And I remembered, and someone said to me, but I remembered, it's like, I used to live here for a couple years when I was 21. And it was the most beautiful time in my life. I felt so free. It's like friends. I could be myself. Like, it was amazing. And whenever I would come back, like, for vacations or things like that, it always felt very nostalgic for me. I felt the power here. But this time when I came, it wasn't nostalgic for me at all. It just felt like this wide open space.
Like you're home.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still have to go back because I have 1 child here, 2 children at home, and I have some work to do at home, but it opened my eyes to here. And then someone's like, I'm going to end up working here, like doing my work here as well. You told
me more than one place.
Yeah.
More than one place.
I feel that for you. It's not going to be just in one place.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm, they're not telling me you're going to live here, but they're just saying you need to spend some time here.
Yeah. People might need you there.
Yeah. And all the synchronicities, like, I had very impactful, like, we can go on for hours, but I won't, but a very impactful moment where I was activated for the first time for something. And I'll save that for another time.
Okay. We will probably have you on again, probably. And I'm sure we're going to be on your podcast because it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of course.
You're going to be on it. The amazing part, I hope for. You're amazing. But the podcast, I'm going to pull it off. I think, it's taken me a while. You guys know. Yeah, but it's the right timing. It's always the right timing.
Yeah, I love that you trust that.
To be
That's
ready.
So important. So important. Not force things, but also know when it's the time.
I can't do that, Roberto, because Lorena organizes it and puts in my agenda, and I have to do what Lorena says.
That's not true. We decide things together.
I'm making a joke, Lorena.
I was like, I don't want people to think
about
I'm like
your
bossing her
organization
around.
list of obsessions.
I'll put it in the calendar. But yeah, we'll definitely, well, I'm sure we'll have you back on and we'll chat about more things, because this is just feels like we're chatting with like, yeah, this just feels like we could chat for 10 hours. Like, what the heck? And we don't want to bore people, but so I'll have all the links to how people can contact you, get a session with you, sign up for the workshop. And yeah, if they want to just contact you and ask you any questions or anything like that as well, we'll have your email.
Yeah. The email is the best, the peptalks999@gmail, that one.
Okay, perfect. I'll include that
and
one.
then I think you have my Facebook as my personal Facebook and not my
You'll have to send me the link.
Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. If you just take the .5 off of it.
Oh, okay.
Then that's the
okay.
The Pep Talks one.
I'll put the Facebook on there, the email, and then we'll create some kind of link for the workshop so people can see, because it's a lot of detail that you've put into the description, which I think is amazing and gives people even deeper comprehension of what that workshop / course will provide for them, the mediumship. So,
and if they contact me, people have been contacting me and asking me for more information. So I've been providing that. So if somebody wants more information, they're like, I'm not sure, like whatever, but they're interested. It's like, I give more information, more in-depth information than on a thing like that.
That sounds
great. I don't think you give a lot of information. So that's like a lot.
Great. Yeah. But someone might have doubts. You're signing up to a course. You want to know more. You want to make sure you're getting what you need, right? So
yeah, well, one person has experience with mediumship and just wanted something that was more diverse,
right? And
that wasn't really in the description. So when I described it further, when she asked for more, because she felt like, yeah, I think this is it, but I need to know more.
Right.
And then she was just like, oh yeah,
that's exactly what I want. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, Roberto, for coming on, for taking the time to just chat with us and all the audience. I know some of them might already know you from the courses and the Patreon and stuff, of course. But I want to thank you for your time and for opening up to kind of talk about what you do and share also all your knowledge with our community, because I think it's really important for us to all help each other. And yeah, we're really proud of how far you've come and being part of this community.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. And I can't wait for your podcast to be out so we can listen to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited too.
I know, I'm excited too. It's like, it's a one-man show here. So sometimes it's like I have to pick and choose the moments. And actually the guides were throwing stuff at me that I needed to do when I was trying to do the podcast. So, and it was so beneficial for me to be doing those things. Like they kept me busy.
That's good. That's
I
a good thing.
I wasn't seeking out the opportunities, like they were coming.
Yeah.
So, but amazing. I do want to say also, like, thank you both so much. Like you've given me, so much. You awakened me to things, and I developed it, myself. But without that awakening, it's like I don't think I would be where I am right now. And I just I love being a part of your group. I love chatting with you, and I really appreciate you having me.
You're so sweet.
Having me on.
We hope you all enjoyed this episode with Roberto and that you got something out of this. His path is so incredible, and we're so proud of him. And we definitely feel like he's part of our soul tribe, just like all of you guys. So yeah, if you guys are interested in his workshop, please make sure to check out the link in the show notes and to reach out to him. He'll be happy to send you any information, and we will be in that course. So we're really excited for it. It's coming up really soon. And yeah, guys, we hope you have a great week. And yeah, sending you guys a big hug, a big kiss. Talk to you really soon. Bye.